We continue to track breaking news at 11. A major gas leak in Providence. Firefighters, police, and National Grid all on the scene right now. And that is the sound of the leak itself at the National Grid compressor station. Eyewitnesses we spoke with telling us it sounded like a jet engine roaring.
Now, the leak has caused a traffic mess downtown, with police closing 195 in both directions. They've also closed several side streets in the Point Street Allens Avenue area, though we have just learned moments ago they've started to reopen some of them, including the Point Street Bridge in both directions. Now, officials with the city of Providence tweeted a short time ago that crews are still working to secure the situation.
And we want to give you a better idea of where this is all happening. Now, the compressor station is located on Allens Avenue in Providence, seen right here on the Pinpoint News Tracker. You can see how close this area is to the highways.
And we're working live team coverage for you tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Caroline Goggin has been talking to drivers and tracking the traffic situation. But first, let's get to Eyewitness News reporter Kelly Sullivan, who's live with the latest on the situation. And Kelly, we're expecting a news conference any minute there.
Shannon, Mike, that's right. Yes, we are expected to hear from officials any minute, giving us an update on the situation. But since our last report at 10:30, that noise of that natural gas blowing into the air has stopped. So it sounds like crews may have been able to successfully shut off the valves. But if you're just tuning in, trying to find out what's been going on, a underground natural gas line ruptured, sending the natural gas into the air. It's a National Grid line. Crews are on scene working to shut off those valves. And here's what we're learning so far from officials on the scene. Now, the calls initially came in just after 8 o'clock this evening for people reporting that they smelled natural gas in the area. Now, it's near the National Grid's take station at 1 Franklin Square. It's a building that's underneath 195. Now, a take station is where they take high pressure gas and reduce the pressure to the point where it can be routed out to consumers. National Grid crews are on scene, including the president, trying to safely turn off the valves for that underground steel pipe that ruptured. While they're doing that, though, Providence police and fire blocked off a wide area, closing down local streets and 195 to keep people safe. The only business in the area that was forced to evacuate was Club Desire. Now, there was another man in a nearby business that left, but otherwise officials feel that they have a secure area while dealing with this high-pressure gas line.
It's highly explosive, so we don't want that to be ignited. As that gas dissipates into the air, everything's safe. So we got to keep any ignition source away from this leak.
We shut down the area over by the hospital, by Eddy Street, because we have to shut down any traffic coming from Eddy Street towards Allens Avenue down this way.
Now, the hospital was not shut down, but as you heard, areas around the hospital, the streets were closed off just as a precaution. Now, right now, it's unclear what caused that underground pipe to rupture. Right now, though, no explosions, no injuries reported. Everything is under control. According to officials, they just wanted to block off a wide perimeter around the area just to make sure that everyone remains safe. Mike, Shannon, back to you.
Kelly, we know a lot of the condos and homes and businesses in the area were not evacuated, but people could smell that leak as far away as Cranston and other cities and towns. What are you smelling right now?
It really hasn't smelled for us here in the immediate area of where this is all happening. You know, I do have to say perhaps maybe when we first got on scene, we could kind of smell it. But Commissioner Pare said the wind has actually helped taking moving the gas away from the area. And so that's why maybe people as far as Cranston were starting to smell some of that natural gas. But it's been a little bit windy here, so it's been moving that gas away. But officials have felt pretty confident this entire time that they have the situation under control. So as long as they said that they had a perimeter, they kept the streets clear, they kept the nearby highway clear, so make sure that nobody was around it. But they said they were pretty confident there's not too many businesses in this area. Just as I mentioned, Club Desire, that they had to force people to leave there. So there's not a lot of things going on here where they had to really shut down a lot of businesses. They said they felt pretty confident that they had this under control and that everybody was safe. But again, just taking precautions, dealing with this natural gas leak. Mike, Shannon, back to you.
All right, Kelly Sullivan, thank you very much. Our in-depth coverage of this gas leak in Providence continues now. The leak is causing major problems for people just trying to get around in Providence.
And our pinpoint traffic map shows you right now many major roads, including I-195 in both directions from exit 2 to the 95 split, closed right now. Traffic is being diverted. As you can imagine, it's been a real headache for drivers.
Now let's go right to Eyewitness News reporter Caroline Goggin. She's live in Providence with the latest on the traffic issues. Caroline?
Well, Mike and Shannon, we can tell you news since 10:30 that the Point Street Bridge has reopened to traffic on both sides. The westbound lane had been closed for about an hour or so, but police have moved past that bridge at this point, and all of the traffic is really being diverted away from the area of Allens Avenue and Eddy Street. Right now, things have really quieted down in this area. We're on Point Street and South Water Street. There are still a couple of crews over to my right-hand shoulder that you can see right now, but for the most part, things have remained quiet here for the past half hour or so. One thing that is still in question, though, 195, it is still closed in both directions tonight. I can see it right now from where I am standing, and it's actually a very eerie view to not see any type of traffic moving in either direction on 195. 95 north and south have no access to 195 as well. But right now, we're going to send it back to you, Shannon and Mike, for another update.
All right, Caroline, thank you. Caroline, we had mentioned before, too, about all of the emergency vehicles trying to get around there. You said that they're doing okay at this point, getting to where they need to go?
Yeah, they seem to be doing pretty well, Shannon. We had police blocking off some of these areas tonight, but they, of course, were allowing all the emergency vehicles to go through. Mayor Jorge Alors actually tweeted out tonight to have a lot of people avoid this area. One of the reasons why we need those emergency vehicles to be able to safely pass through these areas tonight to get to the situation at hand and to take care of that.
All right, Caroline, thank you. And once again, we had mentioned where Kelly Sullivan is, that we have a press conference about to get underway. All right, let's go to the press conference. This is Commissioner Pare.
We're working with National Grid and the crew here. They're shutting valves down. Tim Horns, the president of National Grid, he'll give you an update on what they're finding. And as soon as we can open that highway, we will. But we've got to make sure it's safe first. So the leak continues, not as severe, but we're going to be here until the leak is completely shut down. We'll deem that building, and then the highway will open up shortly thereafter.
Is there a significant amount of damage over there, or what's the scene over there?
There's some equipment that failed, some mechanical equipment within that gas regulator station. So anytime something like that happens, we isolate valves that feed into that to shut it down and then to assess what's happening out there. So you can hear that the pressure has gone down. We've shut off some of those valves. We've got a couple more to go. And once we do that, we'll go in and assess what took place in that station. When
this much gas leaks out, is there an impact in the environment, in the air?
Well, right now, our focus is on finding out what took place, make the area safe for the public and our workers and everyone and first responders. So that's what we're focusing on right now. As you hear, it's dropped down drastically, and we're working to shut off a couple other things.
Just how dangerous of a situation is this, both for your workers and the people in the area who are concerned when they hear there's a major leak over here?
Well, anytime there's a leak, we have our protocols in place to make sure we address it safely. It's something we do in any part of our business out there, so we know how to handle these situations. We handle them safely. With Commissioner Pare and the police and fire, we work closely with them. We have drills with them, so we know what to do in these situations. You saw there was an area we kept people away, so we can assess it and make it safe.
Has something like this ever happened before in this area?
Not that I'm aware of.
Why did it take so long? I mean, how long was it? About
well, anytime you have a situation, you want to make it safe, all right? We want to do the right protocols. And that's what we do. Be it an electric storm, be it a gas situation, we have certain protocols we have to follow to make sure you do it right and it doesn't have a further impact on the system.
So there was no problem then. You shut that down in the amount of time that you would want to shut it down. So if you have a rupture, you could have the gas going for 2 hours?
We did it within our safe procedures, as we always do, to keep it safe for the first responders, our employees, and the public.
You mentioned this was a mechanical equipment failure. Is this old equipment, or is this just simply a malfunction?
Well, right now, we got to find out. We will look at that, and we will figure out what took place. But right now, as you can tell, the gas leak has dropped down drastically. We're making a few other assessments and things that we have to do to continue to make it safe, and then we'll look to see what took place.
What do you tell people in the area who are concerned about natural gas coming in here anyway, and then having an incident like this happen?
Well, natural gas is critical to the energy for people's livelihoods, for the economy here. It's something that we manage safely, and it's something we monitor very closely, and we have it under control.
Are you still confident that the operation here is safe?
Very confident.
People were reporting that they could smell it as far as Cranston. Is there a concern for just a wider area that this
No,
might
it's
have an
just
impact?
it's isolated to this area here. What's in gas is a compound for that smell for people to, if there is a leak, to call in for the leak. So that's by design to have that smell in there.
Now, is 195 still shut down?
Yeah, 195 is still shut down. We set up monitors. We have DEM here in PUC. So we brought the proper resources. We monitored the air in and around this area. Although you may smell it over in East Providence or Cranston, it was dissipating because we had a pretty strong wind. So nobody was in danger at all. That's why we closed the highway and Allen's Avenue to keep vehicle traffic away from here. We have not had any injuries whatsoever. We want to continue, and if it takes us several more hours, that's what we'll do to make sure it's safe.
How significant is the ignition risk that something could spark over there?
Well, that's something we have to take a look at. I really don't know at this particular time, but like I said, our focus is to shut it down, make it safe, and that's what we're doing.
Is the plant shut off? Is the plant shut off right now?
Which plant?
The power plant over there?
No, that's a separate entity, and they should be running. It's someone separate from us.
Can you just tell us a little bit about what this is, where you take delivery of natural gas?
We take delivery there from Spectra, the transmission pipeline company. It's one of the stations we have throughout the state.
So this comes off of ships over there, or?
No, there's nothing to do with that. No. This is all the gas transmission and distribution system that we have in place.
So that takes the gas, so that the gas goes throughout Providence from that.
That's one of the stations where it comes in from. Yep.
And what's going to be the effect on gas service in Providence?
There won't be any effect. You know, we're checking for things right now. We don't have any effect on the system right now.
What do you tell people about the inconvenience? People who are still stuck in traffic now for several hours because of this?
Like anything that if we have an issue out there, we don't want to put people through an inconvenience, but it's better to be safe than sorry. That's what we do, be it an electric storm, be it a gas issue or not. We don't want people inconvenienced, but we follow our procedures, make it safe, work with the first responders, and do the right thing.
Look, we work with the state police and DOT. We deemed it was necessary to shut 195 down because that gas was right under that highway. So we're going to make sure that people are safe. I know there may be some congestion as a result of it, but it's safety first. So we're going to continue shutting the highway down until we've deemed it safe.
Any estimate on how long that could be?
As long as it's going to take.
Yep.
The grid's here. They got a lot of resources. They're trying to expedite it as well, but we're going to make sure nobody gets hurt, and we're going to do it in a safe way.
For the morning commute, what should people be looking at, focusing on?
We'll give you another update once we're able to clear the highway and open it back up. Right now, it's closed. It'll remain closed until we deem it safe. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Are you working on closing off right now?
What's the number of
And you've been watching a news conference with Public Safety Commissioner Steven Pare and Tim Horan over from National Grid. A reporter had asked about another power plant. There isn't one on Allen's Avenue. That's the Port of Providence where Motiva is, where there is fuel coming into there, so I can see why there is a concern.
Once again, though, the situation very much still unfolding. They're trying to stop that gas leak. We're going to continue following it as well.